But speaking of some quality, we're going to move on to the next news report, and that's the WWE goes quiet on the WWE Draft. So we talked about this a little bit earlier today, and apparently the WWE Draft isn't happening.
Of course not. WWE hyping up the draft and then quietly forgetting about it is like me saying I'm starting keto tomorrow. Never gonna happen.
Oh man, that's too bad. So Body Slam, who's reported this, and they say that the talk about it's gone quiet, which in WWE language means they realize that they'd rather just shovel people around like action figures and don't even make a big deal about it.
Yeah, instead of a big spectacle, we get Sami Zayn randomly traded for LA Knight. No announcement, no graphics package, just boom. Switcheroo.
Yeah, that wasn't even a draft pick. That was just like two kids trading Lunchables. Like, I'll give you my Sami Zayn pizza pack for your LA Night nachos.
Honestly, the WWE should televise that. Forget the draft stage. Have Adam Pearce meet Nick Aldis in a parking lot like they're swapping Pokemon cards.
What, and are we going to have the commentary having to act like it's some kind of like blockbuster move? Like, oh my god, Nick Aldis just pulled the holographic Sami Zayn card.
But Pierce is countering with a slightly bent LA Knight rookie card, folks. What a trade.
Oh man, that one's worth some money, huh? I wonder if you can pull that in the packs that they been promoting a lot. But
Maybe.
so here's some WWE draft key facts before we get into us talking about this a little bit. So the first draft, the original brand split, took place on March 25th, 2002, when Ric Flair and Vince McMahon drafted talents for Raw and SmackDown. That was a really big deal. Like
Yeah.
I will never forget that. Um, and the purpose was the WWE used the drafts or the superstar shakeups. Remember they were that for a little bit to refresh the rosters and create new matchups and balance star power between Raw and SmackDown. Now it got to the point to where it wasn't held every year. Sometimes it was. Sometimes they skipped it. And there was all these major stars that were drafted throughout the years. You know, like John Cena, Brock Lesnar, The Rock, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Charlotte. It's all the big ones all the time, and it just refreshed the shows, like we said. So like a memorable one might include like Cena moving to Raw in 2005 and maybe like Batista to SmackDown that same year, kind of a trade to the two big guys. And then Roman Reigns staying on SmackDown in 2020 when everyone expected him to go to Raw. So the drafts have actually occasionally sometimes broken up tag teams too, like the Dudley Boys in 2002 and Heavy Machinery in 2020. Who was Heavy Machinery? You can't look at, but
Uh, I I don't know.
yeah, I should have looked at that one better. But anyways, we got a. So there was kind of like a lottery. So in some years, WWE used a lottery or a random draw gimmick instead of a straight boardroom draft. You
Oh,
remember when Eddie took Rick's number and switched it with him one year? Like Rick pulled his number, was like, yeah, woo, and he was talking like, I got the good number, and then Eddie like turned his back and switched it with him. But anyways, I think the most recent draft that we had was actually in 2023 with Raw and SmackDown making alternate picks across multiple nights. Um, and then in recent years, they've kind of had NXT involvement with NXT talent also being eligible, and they were leading to main roster call ups like Indy Hartwell, Grayson Waller, and Zoe Starks in 2023. So the current status is that in 2025, the talks just kind of died out. Um, I guess they're just going to have quiet trades like Sami Zayn and LA Knight, like we said. It's just not too much really going on there. But
mm. By the way, real quick before we move on, Heavy Machinery was a tag team that consisted of Otis and some guy, Tucker,
oh,
who I'm not familiar with. He's a retired professional wrestler. They don't know. They released him from his contract. It says here.
so check it out. You want to go over any of these highlights that we got here? There's a couple good ones there, I think.
Yeah, sure. We got Cena drafted twice in one night in 2005. He was drafted to Raw and then later back to SmackDown in the same show.
That's funny.
Fans were confused. Commentators were confused. It was like WWE forgot how drafts work. Yeah, I do remember that. That was kind of goofy.
Yeah,
The Dudley Boys split in 2002. Bubba Ray and Devon were drafted at different shows, breaking up one of the greatest tag teams of all time. Fans booed hard. Basically, WWE had to undo it later. Yeah, I mean, this is one of those things. It's like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You don't. That was just a. I, they love to break up tag teams, and you just
we got more
Dudley
of that
Boys are
here.
not one of those. Yeah. And then we got Matt Hardy and Lita in 2004, right in the middle of the real life Matt, Edge, and Lita drama. Matt got drafted one way. Basically, WWE poured gasoline on a fire for storyline fuel. Goofy, but yeah, there was a lot of stuff going on there.
The Heath
And
Slater
then
one though.
yeah,
That was
everyone got
funny.
drafted except for Heath Slater.
You remember that? He kept trying to get hired.
Yeah, he kept turning begging for a contract. I got kids became his catchphrase.
You remember the
He should have
Brock
had a
thing?
shirt that said that.
Brock
Huh?
was like, "I don't give a fuck about your kids,"
Oh
and
wow.
like threw the mic at him. And then I think he F5'd him afterwards.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was funny.
Brock rules.
Yeah, and then the
Then we
APA
got
one. I remember that.
yep, they got split. Why don't you tell us about these next few?
I'm sorry. Um,
No, you're good.
I was just jumping ahead of you. But no, the APA one, that was, I remember that one. They were not happy about that at all.
No.
And then,
That was not too long after that Baruch was gone and
yeah,
Bradshaw would become JBL.
yeah, and then they had the GMs fighting over picks like Teddy Long and Eric Bischoff wanting Kurt Angle. Stephanie McMahon, she did it too. But yeah, the random lottery era, which we talked about earlier, was 2004 to 2007. It was basically like a random computer generator or a slot machine. The computer generator was the when they had the GM, the anonymous one running the show. And then you remember Brock Lesnar was ineligible for drafts. He would show up on both shows whenever he wanted.
Yep.
Yeah, that
It was like the Brock rule or something.
yeah, but I kind of liked the drafts. It always made the show feel like a big deal, and it was just like, it was just different. It shook it up. The shows are always like somewhat the same, so it was nice to see how the shows would change and who would be going to what show. Did you like them?
Yeah. But yeah, it felt I was younger then, so things were still more exciting to me than what they are now. But yeah, exciting is the word that I'll use for it. And I remember um, the girl that I was with at the time. Her and I would watch wrestling every week together, and she was always really excited for the draft too.
Yeah, it was cool. It was somewhat like a real sports feel a little bit, as close as it got in WWE, I feel like.